back to the Marvel Movie Minute, a daily podcast which we smash apart the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 1-minute chunks so we can analyze them in scrupulous detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Road to Infinity podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco, and okay, so we have talked about needles. This continues to be a thing, right? But there is a solution to this, and it's actually pretty old.
Oh, okay.
It's called a jet injector. It's like a ray gun of some kind, and it's used to give injections just below the skin layer. So basically the first skin layer, and then it dissipates through your dermis, your epidermis, and then your dermis, right?
Sure.
And these are used for back in the early part of the 20th century, middle part of the 20th century. This was the way it was seen to say, okay, we can give people inoculations quickly. So for the military, for mass populations. Sure. Obviously, you're listening to this, and if you're listening to this in the far future, you will reminisce about the great COVID-19 scare of 2020, right?
That we're currently living through.
That we're living through right now as we're recording this, right? There was this whole thing about this jet injector, and it like I said, it put the stuff through the skin, used for all these different mass application purposes. Even as early as 2017, there is a doctor who's developed a laser-based jet injector. Really kind of cool, right? We're getting closer to the medical tricorder.
I say every time I see a movie set, and even from modern, wherever you are now, up into any future stuff, and they're still using a needle, I always get annoyed by that. I'm like, you're telling me in 200 years, no one's come up with anything better than a needle? I'm like, we have something better than that now.
We do, right?
Yeah.
We're actually doing it right now.
I get for the movie, I get body horror because your thing with needles, obviously they're playing up on that in this very minute.
Well, so why am I bringing this up? Because there was a prop in this minute that we can't really figure out. It's a movie prop.
It's a movie prop.
But it looks like some ridiculous injection system that should be used on no human.
Yeah, that's because we're gonna see some medical horror stuff here in minute 48 of 2008's Incredible Hulk movie directed by Louis Leterrier. So we're picking up where we left off, which is the end of the sentence, which was deep muscle. Ooh. But then the doctor follows it up by saying you also get one to the bone marrow centers, and then the bone ones are gonna hurt. When the doctor tells you, even a military doctor, that you're a soldier, you're supposed to be tough, tells you, yeah, buddy, this one's gonna hurt, Oh.
Do we not get so this is the kind of interesting turn of the character of Emil Blonksy.
Yeah.
You kind of start to sense in his face as they keep cutting back and forth, that he's like,
Yeah, in minute 47 when Ross said, that we're going to give you a low dose, you kind of see look of disappointment on his face.
Right.
But by the time we get here to minute 48 where he's like, yeah, this is going to hurt. So oh, what did I volunteer for now?
And then this cuts to him on a gurney with these two bone injecting devices.
And we see the blue serum that we saw from earlier
So
on.
we got that with this huge needles straddling both sides of his neck. And I say to myself, is that the both shots? The one
you're like, oh yeah, that looks like that really hurts. So I can see that.
But here's my thing.
But no,
just in terms of medical correctness, is a deep muscle in your neck?
Well,
wouldn't that be your thigh? Wouldn't you put that?
There's some exactly. When I had to get a shot of some penicillin type thing or whatever, and they're like, yeah, we need some significant muscle. So it was like, oh yeah, they didn't do neck. So oh yeah, they need something with a lot of heft to it.
Well, no, right?
Yeah,
your backside.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, if they said, hey, and guess what? We think it would be important if we did it both sides of your neck at the same time.
I know you think the length of these needles, would they meet in the middle? Or also, aren't they shooting it into his windpipe? I mean,
I don't understand. Clearly though, because this is a moment that is for thematic horror instead of...
You see him willingly going through this procedure. He is I'm going to sit here while you inject me with it. I have volunteered for this.
And he's got the look on his face
Yeah, and so these guns that you're talking about, that are clearly props that they made, and most likely those needles are retractable, so they're going back
as they're coming into
the gun as they go in. So it's a nice
most likely
gag.
You say most likely,
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess this was 2008. Now I would say probably they would be all CG.
Yeah, probably.
There's so much CG replacement going on that we don't even know about that they do. That's what I meant as a physical prop as opposed to a digital effect. The digital effects, and then it's oh well, that was the worst of it. Oh no, Oh no, we barely begun.
Those were not the 2 shots.
Yeah,
those were
that's right.
those were 2 of 1 shot.
That's right. Gird your loins, body horror fans, because we're going for it here. So the next you see is the Blonksy is laying down the table, and they flip him over.
So he's strapped to this like crazy gurney.
Yeah, so it's pressed in, almost like a waffle press, like a George Foreman grill. He's smooshed in there, and then they're going into like, oh, when you talk about the bone marrow thing, you're doing the bone marrow on his spine.
Yeah.
Like, whew, yeah, we get to see it. Like, you thought those needles were long? Oh no, sir, we've got like a 6-inch needle on the top of this gun that we're going straight into your spine. And boy, Tim Roth really shows you how that feels.
No, I mean, like, okay,
local anesthetic only.
As it's going in,
yeah,
there is this sickening squishy sound, which is not, okay, hold on. That's not at all what is happening, because how much you're only going through like a half inch of tissue to the spine, to the vertebrae.
Yeah.
The sound is ridiculous. Whoever the sound designer was on this just went, oh yeah.
Yeah, we're going full bore.
Because our goal here is to make you squirm in your seat.
Yeah.
And go, ooh.
Or the Foley artist was like, I'm going all the way at this one.
So we have the gallery of Tim Roth on our screen here. We have all his faces that all happen within about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. So they're injecting this, and you think, okay, I hear the squishy sound, but then there is a blood-curdling crack that, and his expression, his reaction to it just goes from,
like, that's a whole new level of pain that I never felt before.
And it's wonderful, his face, because then it follows up with the first time you've seen him with real fear.
Yeah, true.
Here's my question. What happened?
Yeah.
What's
did
the crack?
Go right, or does something go wrong?
Wait, is the crack it penetrating the bone?
I would assume that's what the intention was.
Because I think they broke his back.
Oh, interesting.
I think the crack is it broke his back, and it heals,
and the serum is
as a result of the serum, and that's why his face is fearful, because you just paralyzed me. You just literally just broke my back.
I can't feel my legs. And now all of a sudden I can rip this whole gurney apart if I wanted
think there is as we
saw how fast it happened with Captain America.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously that's later on in terms of filmmaking wise, but
I think that's what they're trying to insinuate here.
Yeah.
A very short amount of time, all done with sound effects and an actor's facial expressions. I think it's really actually pretty well done.
Yeah, because it goes from pain to horror to like, oh, thank goodness that's over, and then the last shot of, are we done? Or like, all right, was it only the first of a series of injections?
Yeah.
Like, all right, Blonksy, first one's done, 41 more to go.
Can you imagine? How many bones do you have?
Right.
Did we mention?
We got to get vertebrae by vertebrae.
Did
we got to work our way
bone
up.
marrow? We have to hit all the bones.
That's right. Yeah.
And you're like,
one by one.
Oh, jeez.
So then we cut back to stately Ross Manor. And yeah, exactly. And we have a random kid playing out in front just to get that suburban thing. I have no idea who that is.
Whose kid is this?
It's not listed.
Is it a neighbor's kid? Get out of here. Yeah. What are you doing?
Stop playing in front of our house. And still at this point, we still think Betty lives alone. So we cut back to Betty, apparently, as she said before, walking Bruce there, wearing a white coat.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you can hear my thoughts on that in previous minutes, but here we go again.
Yeah.
But then we see Bruce, and he's in the Marvel disguise. Who's that guy? Oh, it's Bruce. Well, he's wearing the hat. I couldn't recognize who it was. Brown. No logos. That's why that's the magic of the MCU, is that they can find all these ball caps that don't have anything on them.
All go to Michaels or Joanne Fabrics.
That's right.
Because where else do you find blank ball caps?
Right? Yeah, it's a nice ball, and it also fits him perfectly. It's nice and curved and things too. So he sort of has the janitor chic look to him here, and another bag. So it's like
got a nice messenger bag now.
Boy, he's really gone through the bags.
Oh, yeah.
And so then they have their short conversation. Is everything okay? And Bruce says, "I think so." Like, so far so good. Then we come back to so that's once again another shot of University of Toronto, aka Knox College. I discovered that if you go to their website for Knox College, you have to do. There's a Knox College in the United States of America as well. So when you search, you need to make sure you say Knox College, Canada. That shows up. But there is a actual virtual tour you can take, like with Google Maps, that they have it that you can go from standing in front of that very building and walking through the front door and walking around inside it.
Oh, wow.
The only interesting thing that's different than what we see here is that when they shot it, it must have been in the fall, because as you step out the front door, that lawn is brown.
Oh, interesting.
It was dead as dead can be.
Right.
So if you wanted to get an idea of their perspective on it, you can go in and check it out. It was kind of neat. So yeah, so it looks like they're just in for a quiet walk in the park, right?
Well, no, here's what I would say.
Walking across the quad, maybe grab a coffee.
So here's how the minute ends, right?
It's Saturday morning here at Culver University.
Let's be very clear here.
Uh-huh.
They meet up. He's worried.
Yep.
She's worried. Is
I don't
everything
know if
okay?
She's really worried.
Is everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And that last shot of the building with the cloud storm, the storm clouds moving in, those clouds say, no, it's not okay.
It's not going to be okay. At the very least, you're going to get rain.
I don't think anyone's going to be surprised by that prediction of the next minute. No, it's not.
So it's not just like the next 5 minutes is them just like quietly catching up as they read the school newspaper.
No, we've learned so far in this movie.
Share a croissant.
At almost, here at minute 48, that the weather plays a big part in telling you what's about to happen.
That's very true. That's very true. So we're going to see the storm break in minute 49.
Stormbreaker.
Yeah, right. Unintentional reference.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, if you're interested in chatting with like-minded Marvel fans over on Facebook, well, you can join our Facebook group. It's called the Marvel Movie Minute and Next Reel Film Podcast Executive Lounge.
Think about it at like an airport. If you've ever flown, if you've ever been lucky enough to fly business class or first class, there's those lounges that you can only get in through a ticket, and they usually have a buffet, some really nice, comfortable chairs, maybe even a shower.
Yeah. In John Hodgman's latest book, Medallion Status, he talks about being able to go into those and what's really inside them.
It's amazing.
It's really kind of...
the food is amazing. The chairs, all of it. Our Facebook group, nothing like that.
No, but it does make it a little, because you can step away from all the nonsense going on Facebook into an executive lounge where you're there with like-minded fans, and you can have conversations about this podcast and others, and away from all the virus and politics of that dominates Facebook right now.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So you can find it over at facebook.com/groups/thenextreel. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back here for minute 49, where they go on a nice walk in the rain. Hope you had a smashing good time. Until next time, true believers.
Bye.